I'm R. Sucharita, Government Degree College, Karitabad, Hyderabad, Department of English. A warm welcome to the students of BA, BSc, BCom second year. So, today we are going to learn the poem Television, which is on page number 140 and which is written by Roald Dahl. His name is Roald Dahl. He's Roald Dahl. You can see on the slide his picture. So the poem is television. Poem is television, and now we are going to do the pre-reading activity. How many hours of television do you watch in a day?
3 to 4 hours.
What kind of programs do you generally watch?
Musical and educational, spiritual, and that's all.
How much of what you watch do you remember or are able to recall?
Yeah, 50 to 60% of that.
Do you watch television even when your kind of programs is not on air?
No,
What would you do when there is no television or internet or mobile phone?
it would be boring. Obviously, I would learn some instruments, or I'll be involved in studies.
Yes, good. How do you think people spent their time when there was no television?
By doing physical activities and making fun, gathering, playing indoor games like that.
When a story or book that you have read is made into a film or a television program, which one do you prefer and why?
Obviously, television program that would be interesting.
What do you remember more? The stories you have read or listened to, or the television programs you have watched?
TV programs watched.
Do you know any other term of television?
Small screen TV and Kelly.
Okay, good. So now we are going to learn about the author. So, author is Roald Dahl. We are going to learn about Roald Dahl. So, Roald Dahl, he was born in the year 1916 and he died in 1990. He was a British novelist, short story writer, fighter pilot, and screenwriter, widely recognized as one of the greatest storytellers for children of the 20th century. Dahl's books deal with fantasy and a make believe world and are a thrilling mixture of the grotesque and the comic. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 1964, The BFG, 1982, and Matilda, 1988, are among his most popular children's novels that have also been made into films. Besides, he has published more than a dozen collections of short stories. About his children's stories, he once said, I make my points by exaggerating wildly. That's the only way to get through to children. He received several awards, including the Edgar Allan Poe Award 1954 1959, World Fantasy Award for Life Achievement 1983, then Children's Author of the Year Award 1990, and the Millennium Children's Book Award 2000. Okay, so it is 2000. So Roald Dahl, he was born in the year 1916 and he died in 1990. As we have seen that he is a British novelist. Novelist is one who writes novels and he belonged to British country, that is England, and then he is a short story writer. That means he writes short stories. So he has written many short stories, and then he uh, and he is also a fighter pilot, and he is also a screenwriter. And then Dahl's books deal with fantasy and a make believe world and are a thrilling mixture of the grotesque. So he deals with fantasy and he'll make us believe that world. And he did in such a great manner that it is a thrilling mixture of the grotesque and the comic. Grotesque means it is ugly, the ugly, it is the mixture of the grotesque, that is deformed, and the comic. Both they are a thrilling mixture. And then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 1964, and then the BFG, 1982. All these they are made into films. Even I have seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on the television, 1964. And then the BFG also I have seen, that is in 1982, and Matilda, 1988. So if you have not still seen on this, you can also see, or you can observe, or you can enjoy them on your television. And they are among his most popular children's novels. So all these are the children's novels, and when you write in the examination about the introduction, so definitely you have to mention about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 1964, the BFG, 1982. At least these two novels, popular children's novels, you have to mention also being made into films. So all these are made into films. You can go to the internet, and if you really, if you are interested, you can type them and you can watch and enjoy them. So besides, he has published more than a dozen collection of short stories. So it is a dozen collection of short stories. So short stories, they are a dozen, they are 12. So about his children's stories, he only once said that I make my points by exaggerating wildly. So he says that my points, I'll be making them exaggerating. They are in an exaggeration, and that exaggeration is also very wild. So that's the only way to get through to children. He received several awards, including the Edgar Allan Poe Award. So, because he is such a great author, he received many awards, and the first one is the Edgar Allan Poe Award. It was in the year 1954, 1959, and then he also got World Fantasy Award. This World Fantasy Award he received for life achievement, that is in the year 1983. And then Children's Author of the Year Award, it is in the year 1990. And the Millennium Children's Book Award, it is in the year 2000. So he's such a great British novelist, and he's a short story writer, and he is Roald Dahl. And I hope you have understood this about the author. So when you write the introduction in your examination, the first introduction, when you start with the introduction, write at least 5 lines. And please don't forget to write the awards of Roald Dahl. That is Edgar Allan Poe Award 1954-59, and World Fantasy Award for Life Achievement 1983, and then write at least one, that is Millennium Children's Book Award, which was in the year 2000. Okay, so this is about the author. And So now we are going to see about the poem. Poem, that is television. This is the television set. So television is one of Roald Dahl's best known poems. So among the poetry which he had written, television, it is one of the best. It is one of the best Roald Dahl's best known poems. It is called as a best known poem. Using his characteristic humor, Dahl criticizes children's addiction to television. The poem highlights the negative impact of television on young minds and warns that too much television can kill the imagination of children. Dahl also proposes reading books as a healthier alternative to watching television and advises parents to wean their children away from television if they want their children to grow up with healthy minds and healthy bodies. He is confident that once children overcome their initial resistance and discover the pleasures of reading, they will thank their parents for introducing them to the world of imagination. So, he used his characteristic humor, and Dull he is criticizing children's addiction to the television. How bad it is for children to be addicted to the television. He highlights that. So the poem, it highlights the negative impact of television. So what is the negative impact of this television on young minds? And how they become unhealthy, and he's warning that too much television, it may kill the imagination of children. So children will be very poor in imagination. Because their time is completely occupied in watching the television continuously. So Dal also proposes reading books as a healthier alternative to watching television. So it is not watching television, but Dal is proposing that we have to read books, or children should read books, so that it will be a healthier one. It is a healthier alternative instead of watching television. And he also advises parents to wean their children away from television. Wean means to detach, that means to stop their children away from the television if they want their children to grow up with healthy minds. So if the parents, if they want their children to grow in a very healthy manner and with a healthy mind and with healthy bodies, it is the parents' duty, it is the parents' duty, which where parents have to take the responsibility, or they have to shoulder the responsibility of weaning their children. That is, detaching their children, or depend because the children are completely dependent, or they are addicted to television. So that is why they have to stop, or they have to detach their children from watching television. So he is confident that once children overcome their initial resistance and discover the pleasures of reading, so once if they leave this television and if they are addicted in reading books, then they will enjoy. They will enjoy the pleasures of reading, and finally, children, when they become adults, they will be thanking their parents for introducing them to the world of imagination. So, this is about the poem, and so we have done the pre reading activity, and we have done about the author, and we have also done about the poem, that is television. And in the next video, we are going to do the glossary. Glossary is the meanings, and then the poem which is written, that is called as television. And hope you have understood this. And he is Roald Dahl, a very great British author, novelist, and thank you.